So maybe you're in the position where you want to start bringing in some items that aren't 3x, or you started out bringing in items that aren't 3x. And what does X mean? It means markup. Hello. We always talk about markup in the boutique world, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to make sure that you don't screw up your margin when you carry items that are maybe not 3 times wholesale. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you're clicking that red button wherever it is here, and that little bell, that's going to give you notifications when I drop new videos. Every Tuesday you'll get an email in your inbox, so you can come right here and get the latest in retail education from me, Emily Benson. Now, if we haven't met yet, hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm a business consultant and a mindset coach for retail entrepreneurs just like you. Whether you are in the startup phase or you are deep in and you are like making a bunch of money, I can help you. My main goal as a consultant is to help boutiques start, grow, and scale their business. And I do this from $0 to many zeros behind the dollars. So if you want to make many zeros behind the dollars, click that like button, make sure to subscribe, and stay tuned because I want to help you. So now a lot of people are going to say, well, Emily, how do you know how to do all this stuff? I'll tell you. In my corporate job as a retail merchant for companies like Abercrombie & Fitch, Club Monaco, and Henry Bendel, we had to deal with this all the time. We knew that we could only get certain costs and charge certain retail prices for different products, and so we always were playing with what we called the blended margin. A lot of you guys come to me and you say, well, listen, I want to carry this brand because I know that my customers love it, but they have an MSRP. What does that mean? A manufacturer's suggested retail price. The thing about those MSRPs is that they tend to be close to like a 2 or a 2.5 markup. We don't love this, but if you have a lot of other merchandise at a 3x margin, we might be able to handle it. So I want to teach you a little bit about blended averages and show you a little bit of the math. First and foremost, what the heck is a blended average of a margin? Think about it like this. You know that you have a ton of units and you're going to charge 3x markup on those. But then you have a little amount of units that you're only going to charge 2x markup on. We actually might be okay because the blended average, when we take the amount of units times the average markup on both, when we blend that all together, it ends up being still a high margin. The opposite is true as well. If you're going to buy a lot of items at a 2x margin and then a small amount of products at a 3x margin, you're going to be the opposite way. You're not going to make a lot of profit. It's going to be a big struggle for you to feel like you can pay yourself. And so let's figure out how to get that blended margin just right for you. So here's a little chart I made over on Google Sheets, and it just outlines a really quick example of how this actually works, because if you're like me, I'm a visual person, so I like seeing this in chart forms. I just made the example of 3 different items. So the boutique denim and the blue sweater, those are things you would find where you can price it however you want. This brand name bags category, this is the one where we're only going to get a 2 or a 2.5. In this chart example, I have it at a 2.5, you can see right here. So let's actually bump it down to a 2. So this means when I buy this item, I can only charge 2x the wholesale of it. Now, what this chart is doing is it's actually giving you the extended wholesale and the extended retail. So what that means is that it's actually taking the amount of units times the cost for this example, and then for extended retail, it's taking the units times the retail. Now, this is going to get you what's called the blended average, which is this number. Let's just make it a yellow over here. So this is the blended average. We're seeing each item extended out, and then we're getting that blended average. Let's play with the units here. We can't play with the wholesale and retail. I mean, we could play with the retail, but theoretically, even with the boutique items, you know what you need to charge. You know what other people are charging. You don't need to play with the retails. What you can play with to get this blended average up around 62 to 65, which is where we want it to be, is to play with the amount of units. So in this example, you can see that we're buying a lot of these brand name bags. These are the ones that we can only charge 2x for. All right, so let's play with this. So right now we're at a 58.12. I want you to watch this number over here. We're going to adjust the boutique denim. We're going to say, you know what, we need to buy 24 units because we sell denim like crazy. Boom, look at that go up. Let's say, you know what, the name brand bags, we're just going to bring in a small amount. We're going to do a limited run, so we're actually going to bring in 15 of those. Boom, we're helping our margin again. Okay, and this blue sweater, you know what, actually what we're going to do is this blue sweater is doing really well. So we're going to bring it in a different color. Same sweater, did really well. We're going to bring it in a coral color, and we're going to bring in 12 of that. So let's just double check here. I'm going to have to add in our new row. All right, cool. So as you can see, that bumps it up a lot, 66%. So you want to be between a 62 and a 65 or more blended average for your entire assortment. So this is why it's really important to look at how many units you have. This column is going to be so important for you when you have items where you know you can only charge a 2x. Now, let's say there was a lot more of these things where we can only charge 2x. Let's just say, for example, so this cell has the wholesale times 2. Let's just say these two items you could only do 2x on. Look at how much it kills your margin. This is really important. Understanding blended average is so crucial in wanting to bring in name brand items. You can totally do it. You can totally handle the MSRP, but you have to watch the amount of units that you do it on because it's going to affect, over here, this yellow, the blended average. Okay, so you've seen the example on the Google Sheets. I want to just let you know about a couple more things, but before that, I would love for you to post in the comments below, what about this confuses you? Where is there a struggle around bringing in brand name items and bringing in 3x margin or more items? Where do you struggle? Post that in the comments below because I want to be able to help you. So as we talked about, it's really important to understand the amount of units to the amount of retail, wholesale margin that you're getting. It's also really important to manage your sales and markdown. It's really important to understand where you can take sales and markdowns because there is such a thing as what's called an MMU, maintain margin by unit. Okay, so your MMU is what happens to your margin, your markup, same difference, after all the sales and markdowns and discounts you give. So it's really good if you're like, I'm not going to give discounts, but we know that's not true. We know you're going to have to mark down some stuff. We know you're going to run sales. Now, the biggest thing, if you're bringing in a lot of that branded, what I'll call branded or 50% markup items, is that those things don't go on sale. You really can't afford to mark them down. So if you're even thinking about buying that stuff, I want to warn you to just make sure that you know it's going to sell out at full price. That's the most important piece, because if you start taking markdowns on that stuff, it's going to really tank your margin. We already saw what happened when we changed units in that sheet a couple minutes ago. Now imagine you also changed the markup. You change that extended retail, it's just going to kill you. Okay. So make sure that you are really tapping into your product assortment and you're really looking at where can you make the most out of your margin and where do you think it's actually a necessity for you to bring in these branded items, because your ideal customer is just going to absolutely love them. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want more information about how to build an amazing product assortment and ensure that you have a pricing structure that makes sense for you and for your customer, I would love to refer you to my product called the Pricing Assortment bundle. I have that available on my website, and I walk you through how to price everything that you need for your boutique business so that you end up making money, so that it makes sense to a customer. All of that is in that pricing assortment bundle. You can click the link below and grab that. All right, if you have loved this video, a couple things you can do for me is, first off, subscribe to my channel. Secondly, click that little bell button and make sure you get notifications about when I will be back and have new episodes. And lastly, you can smash and press that like button and make sure the other people that are in Boutique Land, our community, gets to watch this video, gets to see it, so they can understand the theories behind the blended markup average.